Hi, everyone. This is Brittnee Bonds, and welcome back to the podcast. Today, I am very excited to have my beautiful goddess sister, Calea. Did I say your name right?
Calea.
Calea is here with us. We were just talking on the podcast right before the podcast that I am slightly dyslexic. So if I say her name wrong, you will hear her correcting me in the most beautiful, gentle way. So Calea. Yeah.
Perfect.
Calea and I met last year after Burning Man here. So we're in Nevada City to place you on the map, which is actually in California.
Yes. Not in Nevada.
Not in Nevada.
Despite the name.
Despite the name. And it has a huge conscious community. It's very similar to, I would say, like Koh Phangan or Pai in Thailand. It has rivers here. It's in the mountains. And I came here after Burning Man last year to decompress, which means just like go into nature and connect to nature and just kind of ground after the chaos that is Burning Man. And I went down to the river here, and Calea and her partner Gavin are the first people I met at the river.
Yeah, it was like a very special meeting.
Yeah, you want to tell them about it?
So we were right under this bridge, and we normally actually hike out. So we very rarely spend.
Up to the mic.
We very rarely hang out right under the bridge. We usually go where there's less people. But it was evening time. We didn't want to go for a long hike. And so we stopped, and suddenly this woman appears with pink hair. That's flower. And an all pink outfit. And she's got these long braids. You know,
oh, because I had my Burning Man braids.
Yeah, Burning Man braids. And I'm just like, I like whisper to Gavin, and I'm like, who is this woman? Burning Man Barbie is here.
Oh my god!
I will forever know her as Burning Man Barbie. You know, the Barbie movie had just come out, and so it was like all these different versions of Barbie in the consciousness of the world. And
oh my god!
I was like, they didn't put Burning Man Barbie in the movie, but like here she is, like she's real.
I didn't realize that you called me Burning Man Barbie. That's so funny. How did we end up even talking for the first time? I don't remember.
I don't remember how we started talking, but I was like, we have to talk to them. And we were just like literally 3 feet apart from each other.
Yeah.
Like it would, and there was no one else at the river. Like, of course we would have to talk. Like,
yeah. It was like getting dark. Yeah. That was, and then we ended up hanging out like multiple times after that. We like ended up on like a hike or something.
Yeah. We hung out at the river, on the rocks in the canal. Like we took you to that place that's like, you have to hike in.
Yeah.
And you surprised us with your friend. Yeah.
So funny. Like, so many good stories.
Yeah. It was like an instant connection, and now it's been 1 year, and we're having our annual post Burning Man check-in.
Exactly. And also very synchronistic too, because I met a mutual friend of ours named Emilio, who's been on the podcast before, and he was inviting me up for his birthday week. And I even asked him, I'm like, do you know, because your previous name was Kaylee, so I was like, do you know Kaylee and Gavin? He was like, no, I don't know these people. And then he was like, oh, you mean Calea?
Yeah.
And I was like, yes, Calea. And so he ended up like coming and picking me up in Oakland, driving back, and even driving me all the way to your door for like, we did a little tea hangout.
Brought me my dear friend to my door.
Thank you, Emilio. Shout out to Divine Masculine for driving me around, chauffeuring me. And it's been
so lucky to have men do that.
I know. I'm so grateful for all the men in my life. And so today what I wanted to talk about was, well, we were just talking in the car, and I was getting very heated about women and their power.
Yeah.
And using also just the polarity and the positive polarity dynamic between men and women.
Exactly.
And we were just talking about how like in certain conscious communities, I think so I want to just speak it, and then I want to hear what you think. Right?
Yeah, please.
So so the dynamic we were talking about that we see play out a lot is like in certain conscious communities, women come in and they're like, oh, I want to be free in my sexuality and like, this and that. And then like also men come in and they're like, oh, like everyone's polyamorous, like everyone's sleeping with everyone. This is just like, it's a kind of a free for all. Like I can have my cake and eat it too. And is this actually healthy? And what is the positive polarity dynamic and energy exchange between the masculine and feminine? And like, we're talking typical heterosexual dynamics. And what were you saying about the solar and the lunar energy? I would love to hear this on the podcast.
Yeah. So what we were talking about is people who are socialized and live as male and female. So like she was saying, if you don't fall into that category, we still love you and you matter in this world. But we're going to be talking in binaries for the sake of this conversation. And please, take what applies. and leave the rest.
Just throw out the window, you know.
Yeah, throw it out the window if you want. You can tell I'm from California. You know. But you gotta leave room for everyone.
Yeah,
so
totally.
Typically men, have a solar sexual dynamic, a solar, and when we talk about sexual, this is not a word that means having sex. So that's like an action, right? When you go and have sex with somebody, we all know what that is. When we're talking about sexual energetics and sexual dynamics, we're actually talking about your energetics as it relates to your sex. And that means like whether you're born male or female, whether you're born with a cock or you're born with a pussy, whether, and so like that is what we're talking about. Sexual energetic dynamics fall into our sex, not just the act of having sex. And
so it's like the energy that you carry into the situation that you share with other people.
Yeah. And so that's going to be different for men and women. And for men, they typically have what we call a solar dynamic, or a yang dynamic is a word you might have heard. And that means that their energy is very giving. And you can see this in the way that like men don't menstruate. And so they have a more even,
like emotional cycle.
Yeah. Energetic and emotional cycle. They're on a circadian rhythm. So they're moving with the sun and their energy is like the same every day. And obviously emotional things come up, but it's more predictable than with the female energy. And our energy is actually not just yin. So people look at yin and yang. Yang is, if you've seen this like on the yin yang Taoist symbol, right? It's the idea of like one is masculine, one is feminine. Yang is giving and yin is receiving. But women are actually super unique because we are not strictly yin. We are lunar. So
Bum, bum, bum.
So let me tell you what that means.
Break it down for us.
So the sun is coming down, giving energy to the earth.
Yeah.
The earth does not have any light. So the earth is yin. It's always receiving. So the true yin source, if we're looking at like celestial bodies, is the earth. The moon, when full, is giving. When new, is receiving. It's almost like a bisexual energy. And so
do you think that's why women traditionally are more bisexual?
I think that is part of it. Yeah. I think women also, and you also look at like how we're socialized, because women are like allowed to be touchy feely. Even in a like platonic hetero relationship, we're allowed to touch each other in a way that men are not welcome to typically.
No, I just want it closer to your face.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
And just want them to hear your beautiful sultry voice.
I think there's like a mix of the energetics and how we're socialized.
Yeah.
But with men, they are meant to be in a solar and giving dynamic. And that actually allows them to find their power, their ability to create wealth, their ability to manifest, their ability to give to somebody in a relationship and feel fulfilled. And when they don't tap into the solar energy, when they allow themselves to sit back and just receive, women like who are really excited, they're like, we're poly now, we're in the spiritual world, we are not being repressed by like society, which is a beautiful thing. They start giving to men, and what happens is that men stand back and they receive, which is not their natural energetic dynamic. And it can feel good for a while until eventually it energetically castrates them. And they're doing it to themselves.
Okay, so let me just reframe so I make sure I understand.
Yeah.
So you're saying that like, let's just say like Sally goes into this conscious community and she's like, wow, I am fully empowered in my sexuality now.
Yeah.
And there is this guy, his name is Joe. He is tall, dark, and handsome. All the ladies love Joe. I also love Joe as a Sally. And I'm like, I want to get some of that, right? Some of that energy. So I'm going to him and I'm giving him my feminine energy. And he's just receiving. He doesn't have to chase. He doesn't have to show up for me in any way. He doesn't do anything. He's not giving. He's just receiving. And so you're saying because of that, he's not using his own. I mean, we can even talk in like the form of testosterone. Like testosterone needs to be exercised in order to receive more testosterone. But like also the solar energy of like, you need to, like men need to give in order to feel worthy of receiving. And also the energy gets filled up. So when they don't do that, you're saying that they just, what is it? What do you mean by castrate?
By energetically castrate, I mean like take away their own power. So imagine like you have somebody's like always doing something for you. Like you have a job and like it's your job to like, I don't know, whatever the task is, like you have to close out the register, and somebody's just like always doing it for you, and they're like, don't worry, I did it for you, you don't have to. And you're gonna start to feel like, wow, did they not trust me? Like, did they not think I'm capable of counting the money? Like, that's supposed to be my task, and they're taking it from you. And it's supposed to be a favor, but it's actually might create some shame because you're not being allowed to step into your power and like grow in this role. In, you know, we're talking about in a workplace, but this is also something on, we're gonna have a cat shaking the camera,
rubbing against the selfie stick. Give me a flower.
But on an energetic level, like a man can really enjoy having women crawl all over them. I'm sure if there's men watching this, like you think about women like coming after you and desiring you and wanting you, like, oh my God, what's our guy's name? Joe's like, oh my God, Joe. Like everybody's always thinking about Joe and they want to be close to Joe.
I gotta dance with Joe tonight, a static dance.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like Joe is gonna just be sitting back, and that's gonna create, it's gonna be exciting until it creates like almost a laziness. Like he's not learning to step up into a role. He's not being challenged. He's not being given an opportunity to see what happens when he exercises his personal power in the world. Because when you don't allow yourself to be empowered and you just have everything done for you, it's like, it's, what is it called? Like when you have like a broken leg and you don't exercise it for a long time and then the muscles are like, you know, weaker. They're like atrophied.
Yes.
You're like energetically creating an atrophy of your ability to harness your power. So when you can...
It's so important for the masculine energy too. Even within us women, we need to be able to prove things to ourselves, that we can do things, that we can accomplish things. And also, I just think it makes you not appreciate stuff if everyone is just throwing stuff at you. But what I found interesting in our conversation, I mean, I find all of this cool, but like you were talking, I was like, so what do you think women should do? Like, what do you think is the proper way for the feminine to show up in a healthy balance of energy exchange?
So with the healthy energy exchange for a woman, we really need to learn to pull back and we need to be like the way the moon controls the tides. Where we watch the moon become full and pull the tides up and become new, and the tides go back. And what you're doing is you're creating the energy of temptation, of flirtation.
I love this.
And of illusion in a way, because what do we do when we beautify ourselves is we are creating the energy we want to hold as women. It's like, it is our jobs to play with Maya, the world of illusion, and to play with different identities and costumes and see how the world reacts to them, and bring in like a cat coming towards you and being like, do you want to pet me? Maybe not. No, not like that. Sorry. And you just leave the scene, and that creates this fire for the opposite polarity to be like, oh, that's exciting. I can reach towards something. And when you know, we all in the like spiritual community talk about manifestation. Like if you can see yourself accomplish something, like I want this person to like go on a date with me, and you ask and they say yes, or like I want this job, or like I want to like be able to like lift this much weight at the gym, and you like go and do something, and suddenly you see yourself accomplish it, you learn where your power is held in your body. And so when you aren't given everything and you have to work for it, you have more opportunity to experience your personal power. And as women, we don't have solar energy. So we get like, if we're just giving and giving and giving, like we're going to get really tired.
Yeah. And then you get this, what I see a lot in the conscious communities is women end up being very bitter.
Yeah.
And they're like, where are all the good men? It's like, well, you are the one. I remember someone saying to me recently, one of my guy friends, he's like, women set the tone of the relationship. Yeah. You know, like we set like how much is given and received. And we do that not by begging or by being irritated or bitter. It's just by like, I don't want to accept this. I'm going to move on. Or like, I'm just going to not let this person in deeper because they're not showing up in a way that is fulfilling what I need in the energetic exchange, you know? And there's nothing, I don't find that to be a manipulative thing or a negative thing. It's just like, no, this just doesn't align with what I'm open to receiving right now. So maybe we can just be friends, or maybe not even that. I could just have you in my outer community, you know? And that's what I mean by women setting the tone of the relationship. It's just like, what are you putting up with? Like literally, what are you willing to receive right now? Or are you just like, I'm fine to give and give and give? And I'm like, okay, well then you're also setting up the energetic exchange of,
right.
I'm willing to give without receiving anything.
Right.
And it's like, okay, well, are you honoring yourself? Are you valuing yourself?
And is that sustainable for you?
Yeah.
And like,
can we just like honor this?
Yeah, let's honor this adorable kitty. This is Flower.
Yeah, something to say, Flower?
The purrs. He's like a little shy. He's like, I have to go. That was too much for me. I love what you said though about being like, it really can create like the archetype of the nag.
Yeah.
You know,
like the bitter old lady.
Yeah, the bitter old lady, or like the nagging wife. When like we as women we can't just like force things. Like we can't go like after a man and be the pursuing one, and all of that. Like holding that energy is not sustainable. We will get like tired, and it's going to show. Like maybe it's possible when we're ovulating and we're like really in that like exciting energy, and then when it comes time to like be in your menstrual cycle, like you're actually on your bleed and you're needing to pull back, and then suddenly your partner is not giving you anything because like you've trained them, you've allowed somebody in who feels like they can just take from you. And then like, especially if you're in the poly community or you're very open, like when you're not available to give, they'll just find some other woman to give. And then it's that like sense of like, how did I get here? This is like, you won't even like be identifying with who you feel you are as a woman, you know?
Yeah. And I think this is where, this is like hitting on something that I think is really vulnerable for a lot of us women, is this balance between taking responsibility for how did we get here and, you know, there are things that the masculine and the men in our communities need to be taking accountability for and need to hold each other. The men need to hold each other accountable for this. And I actually see this a lot more so here in Nevada City in the conscious community. It's something I really want to highlight, that I do see a lot of the men at least attempting to hold each other accountable. There's like a men's circle that's pretty strong here, and I don't see that in the other conscious communities I'm in. Like men just like at least keeping track of what's happening, wanting to take accountability. But there needs to be, what I'm calling in here more is like us women realizing how much we are in control of a lot of this situation, these dynamics, and that in order to take that power back, we have to take responsibility for the times that we gave our power away.
Yeah, definitely. And that's like, it's painful, you know, like there's different aspects. Like obviously our society and the way our society, and I'm talking about like the US Western society. I know everywhere's different, but like the way we socialize men, there's not these like negative traits that are inherent to men. And oftentimes, like, I think those who are trying to empower women, we can make it sound like that, but just, we socialize men to have these ways that they are allowed to abandon the feminine, and also like abandon the energy of the feminine or the goddess and the way it manifests on earth. And you know, these men who are raised like this, they all have mothers, you know, and like we also, women who date men, we're engaging in it. And so there's a balance between, like, obviously there's power dynamics in our society between men and women, but also that exact thing you said, what are we allowing in? And how can we come into our own strength? Because the more as women we can have our own sovereignty and the knowledge in our bodies, like, we don't need to pine after this person. We obviously can still engage in a relationship with love and generosity and kindness, but that's not the same as a sense of desperation that causes the pining, that brings into that dynamic of the women giving and searching, and the men just being like, all right, yeah, I'll just take all these girls crawling on me. You know? And
I think that's the difference between like a woman choosing herself or needing to be chosen by the external masculine. Like we were saying in the car on the way over, like we all have internal and external masculine. It's like, no, you need to be choosing yourself, and then that will be reflected externally. But if you're having this wound, which a lot of us women have, like I've had it in the past, and I think a lot of us work through this, is, you know, needing to feel chosen by the masculine in our life. And especially if you didn't have that growing up, I didn't have that with my father. It's like, oh, I'm looking for this, even if it's subconsciously in all the relationships I'm in. But that's not healthy, you know, like you're setting yourself up to, you know, not get fulfilled in the way that you really desperately actually want to.
Right. I mean, it's like a living for approval.
Yeah.
And you know, it can happen in all, even gender relationships, I'm sure, you know, within, whether it's a hetero relationship or it's a queer relationship, like when you are living for someone else's approval,
it's never going to end well.
It's never going to end well. And like, you know, that's where the pining after this like energy that's not available. And like, we're talking about like the kind of man who is ready to like sexually engage with women, but like isn't available for
commitment, responsibility, protecting, providing, energetically, physically. It's like, are you even a man? I mean, I'm just, you know, joking, but I'm also not. But
yeah,
you know.
I mean, or just like, are you a person who's able to be accountable in a community?
Yeah.
Because like our society is so disconnected. Like especially if you live in a city, we're in a small town here, but if you're in a city, like you can just never see somebody again so easily and forget they exist and not have any shared community. Yeah. And that's not how the human organism has evolved. Like we evolved within tribes, we evolved within tight communities. And so when we experience that like abandonment, like that is not more than just being a man. Like, can you be a human? Can you be humane? Right. That, you know, to be humane is to be a human. And if you're not acting with that integrity of understanding that your actions have like a result in people's lives, that you can't just like be acting like a child and having people take care of you. And that's kind of where it comes from, is this like, I think it comes from a lot of like unfulfilled maternal love. And so you didn't get it from your mother. You don't feel it from a divine source. And so allowing yourself to pull back and you know, figuring out how to be desirable and just be doted on, you're disempowering yourself, but you're doing it because of this like wounding, you know?
I think all of us, if we are acting out of alignment, it's because of some wounding. Like the feminine is the wounding of needing to feel chosen, and the masculine,
definitely,
you know, needing to feel free. And like everyone, I think the goal is to have both at once, like the integration of I choose myself and I am free, and so I have the abundance of energy to show up for other people. This is something I was talking to a friend of mine this week about. It's like, it's not even a question that he's a guy who has a beautiful influence on the community that he's involved with, and I'm like, it's not even about you being free or not free. It's like you have this beautiful opportunity to show up for your community, and you have such an abundance of freedom and energy and power. It's like, are you going to use this wisely, or are you going to fuck around? You know, like, okay, we're back. So dropping back in, basically what we were wanting to say is look at the dynamics that you are involved with energetically. I think this is super important, especially in conscious communities, because what we were saying is like, if you're out in the world, there's not much accountability, and that also means there's not that much connection. And in the communities that we're in, there is a lot of connection, and there's also a lot of accountability. So these dynamics play out, and then people start talking because it's a tribe and it's a small community. And then, you know, because people want to know who's healthy to be around and what is happening. So how can we set the stage for us to support each other?
Yeah.
And I think it's about, at least for me, my perspective is it's first holding yourself accountable for what you need to take responsibility for, and seeing how you can show up in a way that is empowering for you first. And then out of that abundance, start showing up for your community.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I mean, it always comes back to ourselves and our relationship with ourselves, right? And we can't expect things to change for us when we're in dynamics that aren't working if we don't take that initiative of self-accountability, which is really hard. It's like not easy to say like, oh wow, like a common thing that I see is like, you know, as a woman, you might experience men who take from you and don't give, and you're looking for partnership, and you have to be really ready to say, okay, what am I doing that's not allowing me to find that partnership? Like, where am I abandoning myself? Because that's the number one. We look for partners, and we end up in like, when we look for partnerships out of a place of like a wound from essentially like what we want is a parental love, you know, and that's when we end up in unhealthy dynamics. Like, I am my own mother now. Like at this point, like I have to be my own mother. Like whether, you know, whatever dynamic I have with my literal mother, the only person who's going to like be able to like know exactly what I want for my birthday, like is me. Like the person who's going to be able to like give me like what I want in a relationship and make sure I'm taken care of is me. And I think that can bring a lot of fear. And so people, they dance on the edge of like unhealthy dynamics, because to feel like you have to be the one to be accountable to yourself starts to feel lonely
or overwhelming too.
Yeah.
People are just like, I don't want to go there. But that's like where the juice is at, you know. That's where I don't know, whatever analogy you want to use, the metaphor. It's like that's
the marrow.
Yeah, let's get in there.
The vegetarian would not say the marrow, but
I was like, for all my listeners who are vegan,
that is the juice. If you're vegan and if you eat animals, that's the marrow.
It's like whatever you need. So I want to also talk about your personal growth that I have seen and witnessed in last year, because it's been really beautiful. When we first met at the river, you were, you know, wanting to step into something more public and also help women. And like, you know, you had your own personal story around your own empowerment. And I would love to share with them your journey of whatever you feel comfortable to share, and like what you're working on now. Because now she's like straight up going to be part of the next play party I'm doing October 25th. If you're in the Bay in San Francisco, we'd love to have you. But yeah, do you want to share a little bit about that, your journey? I'm sorry if this is too vague. Do you want me to
ask me specifics. Okay. That would help. I would love that. Thank you.
Yeah, sorry, I forget what we're generators.
I love specific requests.
Yeah, okay. So when we met last year, where were you at with your connection with yourself and your sexuality and yourself as like a woman feeling in her power versus where you are now? Like,
yeah. So when we met last year, I was in like a dark night of the soul transformation. And also it was in the middle of my Saturn return. So just like shout out to anybody 27 to 30. I'm so proud of you. You're doing a great job. It is extremely painful, and you're going to be a new person on the other side. And no amount of like reading about a Saturn return will prepare you. So just like vibe. You'll get through.
Oh my God, I remember those times.
Yeah. So I just like completed like this year. I finally came out of that Saturn return period. And wow, it was, when we met was literally like the peak of my Saturn return. It was actually like when Saturn was in the exact same like degree as it was on my chart, in the same degree in relationship to the moon on my chart as well. And that was a really dark time for me, because I was just like ready to birth being a new woman. Like and in birthing your new self and like your higher self, and like going from your girlhood to your womanhood, which I don't think it just happens when you like get your period. It's a slow process. You have to be ready to like burn away who you were, and you have to be ready to like see all of the pains you've faced in your life and work with them. And so, you know, I always say like that your 20s are your second childhood, but it's the one where you have to learn to raise yourself. Your first childhood, your parents raise you, or maybe you have to raise yourself if you're not in the best family. But you know, you don't have personal power. You're under 18. And then in your 20s, you are like in control of your own life, and you get to raise yourself again. And I feel like adulthood like really starts at 30. That's how it feels for me. It's like I just graduated second childhood, and now I'm like in first adulthood, or like second adolescence, kind of.
I love it.
In a way. So yeah, I have been on this journey for many years of like coming into my body. Like my life path has been a descent from the world of the mind and the spirit and like into the body, where there's so much wisdom. Like the wisdom we talk about is what is like so intellectual and so masculine, but like truly all of our wisdom's in our body. And so all that being said, like my background came from a childhood where there was a lot of physical abuse, and just like what did I say the other day, like my family was just like on a spiritual journey. They had a lot of karmic cleansing to do.
Oh my God. I
God
relate
bless
to that
them.
so much.
God bless them all. And like I feel really lucky because literally every year of my life has been easier than the previous one. I think I did all of my karmic debts like in my childhood. Like it was like so incredibly hard. And you know, there was like mental instability and physical abuse. And like what that made is that like my body was not a safe place to be. Like it was scary. And then there was also experiences of like sexual abuse as a teenager. And those, so many women I'm sure out there have experienced that. And it's so painful and it disconnects you. And so when you and I met, I had been 1 year into publicly as in with my community and my partner, like processing the sexual abuse experiences I had. And so I was like deep in that. Yeah.
I remember talking about that with you and being like, girl, I honor this process. I understand. I just made a podcast about this.
Yeah. We had known each other for 5 minutes and we were talking about like what it means to experience sexual abuse as a woman. And I listened to your podcast and it was like so powerful because so many women are there's people talking about it as in like, how do you listen to somebody else telling you about it? Or like, but nobody's like saying, here's my story, you know. It's very rare to find that actually. And so for me, I had done all this work in my life to reconnect with my body and like learn how to feel good in my body. But there was this wound like in my root chakra, like in my, you know, in my sexual center that I hadn't been addressing because it was too scary. And when I addressed it, and this is what's going to happen to many of us, it was going backwards. I was like, I had to go backwards to heal it.
Yeah.
And so I was more disconnected from my body than ever.
Yeah, because we're going to that split part of you and being like, hey, it's time to come home to my body. But then you're in that whatever age you were at that moment, that part of your psyche split off, like teenager or younger.
Exactly.
And then you're just like allowing her to run the show for a while because she needs to take up some space.
Exactly.
But it's like, it's a whole process, you know, and then you have to like let everyone else know around you. Just by the way, the 15-year-old version of myself is going to be in charge for a minute.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Like I am now like 16, like, and it doesn't like everything like that. I was like, I thought I'd come so far. And it's like, you have. And also like the reason that you can even process this right now is because you've come so far.
Yeah. You can hold it.
Yeah. You can hold it. And so it was like, oh my God, it was like my body was like frozen. It was like so painful to like reconnect with myself and to feel like, to like really go through my entire life, every relationship I've had, every like even crush I've had or any sexual experience at all, and be like, and feel the way it was impacted by this wound. And that was deep.
I honor that, babe. I'm really proud of you for doing that.
Thanks, Brittnee.
And on like, I
You were
really
my guardian angel that day. You really gave me a message I needed.
I think we can do that for each other in different moments, you know? And I really want to just really see you and like how much you've grown in the last year, because like I haven't seen you for a year and it's like you're literally a different person, energetically, physically, everything.
Yeah.
And I mean that in the sense of like, I feel like you're more fully expressed of your, like I can feel the authentic self coming through.
Thank you.
And just the like, I give no fucks. This is just who I am.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. They're the like, the people pleaser is like dead.
Yeah.
You know? Or like the part of me that's like, that was like so trying to perform adulthood or whatever it was like, you know, obviously like there were parts of my like higher self, or like we're all trying to be our perfected selves, and like the parts of that were always there, but the amount I could let in really required me opening my whole system. And that starts like at your sexual center. Like that's the first chakra, the root chakra, for a reason. And if you don't deal with the wounds there, it stays locked up. And like the person that you are inside, that like the person I was that was meant to be birthed, couldn't come through.
Yeah, it's like literally your connection to your soul, your life force energy. And that's what I find interesting when people are like, oh, you host play parties now. Like, why do you do that? I'm like, because I literally want to empower everyone. And on the surface, it sounds like we're just playing, but it really is like this dark night of the soul kind of stuff. Like if you allow yourself to, you can really face these deep parts that are in the way of you allowing yourself to really fully shine.
Yeah, totally.
And if we can do that in community and a safe space, you know, it's like so healing.
I mean, because you're collectively entering into the lower worlds and like looking at what's there in a place that is safe, right? Because, and I'll tell you all, like, I had never really thought of going to a play party until I heard of Brittnee's, and I was like, you know what, I would go to that. And then I was like, they're across the world. I don't live there, so. And now she's somehow brought them to me. Wow.
And now I'm inviting you into them.
Yeah.
So do you want to share? Do you want to share about your oils?
Yes, I would love to.
Okay, where do you have them?
Yeah, they're right here.
Okay, show us. If you're watching visually, she's going to show you what she makes.
This is the tantric taila. So a taila is a Sanskrit word for an oil that's infused with herbs. And it has my name on it. Oils by Calea. I actually illustrated this entire label.
You're amazing. I've seen her artwork. It's epic.
You're so sweet. And so this is an herbal oil. It's infused for a month in a prism of quartz crystals and dogwood flower essence.
I love that your voice gets more sexy.
I'm just excited.
She's talking straight from her pussy right now.
And so it's dogwood. I don't know if you guys know flower essences. Have you heard of flower essences, Brittnee?
Yeah, we have it a lot on the island.
Cool,
People are like really deep into the tinctures.
So a flower, like a tincture is...
Am I saying that right?
I'll explain it. So a tincture is like a chemical extraction. So like when I take like chamomile and I put it in alcohol, then the chemical constituents that help you like sleep or digest food from chamomile come out. And the same with like the herbs in here, like they have medicinal things that are traceable. Like you could take this to a lab and it has these different chemicals from these plants in here, and it's super medicinal on a physical level. But flower essences are spiritual. They're not cool. Do you know those water tests where they like talk to water and they like have different results?
Yeah, I love those actually.
They're so beautiful.
They're so beautiful.
They're like
shows how everything is alive.
Yeah. So like for those of you who don't know, this Japanese scientist like told water he hated it and then told other water he loved it. And on a molecular level, like the water looked ugly when it was told it was hated, and it looked beautiful and aligned, like the literal like fractals that were like symmetrical on water that was told it was loved. And so the idea with a flower essence is that you're taking water and you put it in the energetic field of a flower, and you allow the flower's energy to be absorbed into the water. And so like dogwood's not edible. You wouldn't take a tincture of it, but its energetic essence clears stored trauma from the body.
Cool.
So what we are working on with this oil is it's hitting on multiple levels. This is a dogwood flower on the logo. On a spiritual level, it has the essence of dogwood to allow you to come into alignment with that energy of clearing stored trauma from the body. And then on an actual physical level, it's infused with plants that have medicinal benefit to create elasticity in the skin and reduce any irritation or inflammation or any like even wounds. And so
what is your passion behind it? Like what are you trying to do in the world here? Because I've heard you say it and I like it. So tell me.
You're so sweet to me, Brittnee. So when I was in this process of healing this sexual trauma and, bringing it into the light and coming more into myself and coming back into my body, I wanted a tool I could use to do that. And so I made this oil as a way of doing that self-healing. So it's completely safe to use on all parts of your body. Like you can use it on your pussy. It's made to be used there. And there's no essential oils, so it's not going to be
burning.
Yeah, a lot of people make oil-based lubes that have essential oils, and those are actually can be really harmful to that delicate skin. And so these are all herbs that have traditionally been used to treat to treat the yoni, to treat the pussy. And so you would use these in sitz baths. You can, which is like a little bath you sit in to like, if you've just had a baby and you want to like heal the tissues, these herbs are all herbs that would be used in that way. And so they're infused into the oil so that you can practice a self massage and go from massaging your arms and massaging your breasts and your legs to massaging your pussy and to like becoming okay and comfortable and actually loving touching yourself. And we're not just talking about like masturbation where you're touching for the idea of orgasm, but touching for the idea of feeling just the pleasure of being in this like delicious fleshy form that we get to be in.
And I think that's also a beautiful thing for us women, is to desexualize our own bodies to ourselves. It's like, this is like not just to be used for getting something out of it. It's like, oh no, we can enjoy just the embodiment of it. Literally the embodiment, being in your body. Enjoying us as a beautiful vessel. Like we are these goddesses. And if we're not worshiping ourselves first, how do we expect anyone else to worship us?
Right. Yeah. It's that inwardly focused like sexuality that I think as women we really need to have. Like they're
what were you saying when we were eating breakfast?
I called it a narcissistic sexuality. Yeah. Like you should have sex in the mirror, and like if you're having sex with a man, he should be looking at you and you should also be looking at you.
And that's and honestly, this is the magnetism of women. So we're not saying that you need to go out and overtly express this energy. It is a quiet, magnetic, dark feminine energy of like, I know how good I am. I know how yummy I am inside and out, and like this is the energy that I'm like exuding when I walk into the room.
And, like these things we're talking about aren't cultivated through like you're saying, just going out and like being like asking directly for attention.
No, it's not flashy.
They're cultivated through spiritual practice and through self-connection and through like getting in touch with your womb and getting in touch with your pussy and finding that like the entire universe's knowledge is available to you in your body if you just quiet down and listen. And so this, massage practice I started with making these oils was like my practice of just being like, we're getting out of the head and we're going to come into our body and find like our truth of who we are and what we're doing in this world.
I love that so much. And so now I have invited her to the play party I'm hosting on October 25th. And you're going to do a lovely workshop to help people like connect deeper to their own bodies, to their pleasure. There might be some partner play, some massaging happening. Yeah. And I'm just so excited to bring it to the whole community here. And you've also been getting invited to other events, right?
Yeah, I did. I brought it to a local festival. And I intend to actually travel and bring around like a traveling erotic apothecary next summer.
I love that so much, girl.
We want to like, you want it to feel like you're entering into a new world, because when you reclaim your sexuality or like even let's say you already are very like sexually embodied, but you just continue to deepen these practices, it is like the world is reborn around you. It is so incredible. And it's not like about like what a lot of people say, like you'll have great orgasms and then you'll manifest lots of money. It's like, okay, yes, but like what really we're talking about is like you will find so much pleasure in being with yourself that the joy you will like exude is just going to be palpable. And like that's what we're looking for. And so we're going to be taking this around, maybe we should take it to Compagnon.
Yeah, definitely. And they will eat that up, and it literally is edible.
Yeah, it's 100% edible, because like it's the most fun thing at the last festival. Like everybody comes over and they're like licking it off of each other's hands, and I'm just like look at this. How often do you just like lick your girlfriend, boyfriend, partner's hand like just randomly in public? Just like how fun. That's really what it's about.
Yeah.
Have some fun.
Yeah, totally. I was like, when we were setting up the podcast, I was like, the most important thing is that we have fun and that we feel as good in our bodies as possible. And
Hell yeah.
Like, that energy is just everything that we do.
With Brittnee around. That's going to happen. All of you know that already.
Thank you so much for being on the show.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I look forward to collaborating with you more.
Yeah, and I remember you were. What did you say? What was the download? You were like last year, a year ago.
Oh yeah, should we share that story?
Yeah.
So when I saw Brittnee, I was like, this. I need to know this woman. I just have to know her. And I had not released these oils yet. I'd only made them for myself and used them at home. And I was preparing to bring them to the public. And I was just like, I told her about the idea and I was just building the business. And she was so encouraging and sweet to me. And I was like, I think Brittnee's going to play a part in like how these exist in the world. And just like looking at her, I knew that.
But also Emilio.
Yeah, Emilio. So our friend Emilio delivered her here. They met in the Bay Area. They didn't know each other. I knew them both separately. And I also had this feeling like, I just had this like vibe, like something about Emilio and these oils like are connected. I don't know what it is.
And maybe it still will unfold. We don't know. And so you guys are following the story now.
Who knows what will unfold. There's just like this weird, like, I was like, like this oil is going to like reach the world in a way that's outside of my own energy alone. And Emilio delivered Brittnee to my door. And I was like, okay, that's
now we are making this podcast.
And now we're making this podcast.
Keeps going. I mean, that's how I felt like I met this guy in Berlin when I knew I was going to go to Egypt, and he was Egyptian. And I had this passing thought, like, I wonder if I'm going to go to Egypt with him. And then like a month later, we're in Egypt together.
Right.
So sometimes our intuition is like, but I love sharing about these things because I want to encourage people, trust your intuition. You never know what's going to happen. I also have people reaching out to me all the time on Instagram and they're like, I'm so shy to reach out to you. And I'm like, but this is our community. This is what we're here for. Like, and now I've made friends with some of them in real life. And I'm like, this is just the community expanding on itself, which I love.
It's so beautiful to see the world just gets smaller and more connected. And like, it's so powerful and to witness that. I mean, we talked about doing this podcast together a year ago and I think it would have been too raw for me at that time. So I'm glad that you came back for our annual Post Burning Man.
We'll just keep it going. And I would love for you to come to Copenhagen.
It would be so incredible.
Yeah. Come this winter.
And if any of you are in California, it is October 25th.
October 25th is the play party in San Francisco area, in the Bay Area. Please message me on Instagram. I will also put which Instagram do you want me to put?
We'll put Love Calea.
The Love Calea.
Yeah, that's my main account. And if you haven't been to a play party and you've been just thinking about going to one, Brittnee is going to be hosting the most incredible experience because she is giving a place just a full permission for just being there and being in a space where sexuality is not shamed. It's not expected. It's just welcome to be. And it's going to be so beautiful. And so I just know it's going to be transformative to be there. And
thank you, babe.
Yeah, she is a special soul. And we'll be doing embodiment, massage, meditation that I'll be guiding. So if you are wanting to find that connection, that space of coming into your lunar energy as a woman and coming into that seductive energy and not feeling like you're being drawn in by energy sources that are sucking you up, it's going to be a great place to experience more of that.
I love it. I'm here for all of it. And I just love that we are co-creating. Like that's what I'm here for, is to co-create with all the people that I love. So
yeah, it's so special that we live in this age.
Like, I can just fly across the world, pick you up, take you back.
Yeah, I can't wait. I mean, just the age where we have the power as women to like sit here online and talk about our past, talk about our sexuality, talk about how we're growing, and like hold this like really, like you were saying, high priestess energy.
Yeah.
For so many hundreds of years, this voice has been choked.
We were literally burned at the stake for this.
Yeah,
just like
burned at the stake
years ago.
Yeah, really. And now, like, we have so much more freedom, and not all over the world, but like we are collectively freeing the feminine, freeing the goddess in this world.
In Thailand, it's still illegal to talk about sex in printed form in Thai. It's illegal to talk about sex, you guys.
Yeah.
So let's just appreciate where we are in the world. People can say whatever they want to say about the West, but we have the power to affect the rest of the world. It's kind of what we were talking about earlier with Emilio. It's like, we can complain about the States and this and Trump and that and whatever. But it's like, we can also empower ourselves that each one of us have a part to play in the transformation that's happening right now. And I'm really excited for it. I'm excited to co-create on that.
Yeah,
like that's for me, that's where it's really fun.
Yeah. Where women come together and like allow, like, I mean, I see it in what you do. It's like elevating women to know that they have so much power in them, you know, and that they have that divine goddess energy in them, and they can reveal that into this world and put away your old self that's full of fear and anxiety and the need for approval, and allow that higher energy to live through you. And that's just such a beautiful thing to witness that in each other and in the women that we can work with.
Yeah, sometimes I want to like go up to women, like shake them. I'm like, do you realize how powerful you are? But, like in the nicest way possible, you know? I'm just like, what are you doing?
Do you realize how powerful
you are? Also, I just want to say that my entire outfit today is sponsored by Calea here. She had this amazing clothing swap yesterday at her house, and like
so special.
14, 15 women, and we were all like getting naked and just like, oh my God, you look so beautiful in that, and like getting to know each other while we're like trying on all these clothes. It was like a mountain of clothes. Like I went home with so much good stuff.
It was like those thrift stores that are like the by the pound thrift stores. You know what I mean? It was like so intense, and like
some women were getting like overwhelmed. They were like, there's so much energy.
Take this to another room. But everyone went home with a pile, and it was like that is the power of like coming together and sharing resources, and not like there's no, you know, money involved. It's just like we have so much extra, and it's
abundance.
This reminder that we have everything.
Yeah.
It's all available to us.
And through the power of the community and like sisters coming together. And I hope you do so much more. I know you were like, add everyone to the group chat. So
yeah, it was really special. And I think like this process of coming into myself and just like allowing myself to be fully embodied and let go of all of those fears, like you said, like that energy and like these practices of self-massage, that's the only reason I had like 14 beautiful women in my house, like having an incredible time. Like it's, you know,
it's a natural consequence.
Yeah, it's a natural consequence.
Yeah, coming into your full embodiment.
Yeah.
This is beautiful.
Yeah.
I think my podcast thing's going to die soon. So I will wrap it up here.
Perfect.
So grateful to have you on the show.
Thank you, Brittnee.
Thank you for being in my reality. And I'm sending all of you lots of love. If you have anything that you want to share about this podcast, you're welcome to put it in the comments, to send me an Instagram message, Calea an Instagram message. We are here to listen to you. Your voice matters. And I hope that you guys all have a beautiful day. Bye.
Bye.